kids who are a little stressed out and asking, how do I alleviate that stress? Dr. Karyn Gordon is here with some answers. Some stuff that we need to think about anyways.
Yeah.
You went out to the audience and asked them a few questions because we need to identify a few things before we can get to the bottom of the issue.
So this whole thing around what was called emotion management, you can apply this to really any emotion, whether it's stress, anxiety, overwhelmed, depressed even. And I'm telling you, it is a fascinating topic. So I want to quiz our audience to find out how much does our beautiful audience actually understand and know about emotion management.
Yeah.
Whoa, so interesting.
Okay, either you know a lot
Honestly,
or very little.
I was like freaking out back there as I'm like putting the stats together. Okay, so
Okay.
question number one is, how many emotions do we have?
I don't know, like
So,
6.
About 6. And
I don't
actually,
know.
A lot of people thought anywhere from about 3 to kind of like 80.
Yeah.
In our audience,
To
the average was
80.
18.
Okay.
So if you kind of take all, so 18. The truth, though, we have over 3,000
Emotions?
Yes, let's give it up for emotions. Yeah.
What's wrong with us? I think we're
watching the body
feeling too
language.
much.
Everyone's like, wow. So
What?
I know. So we all have men and women. We
Yeah.
all have this huge emotional vault of emotions. Most of us do not understand it. We don't get it. We don't understand it. Happy, sad, overwhelmed, nervous, perplexed, stressed, exhausted. How many is that? That's 6.
That was like 6.
6.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have this huge vault. If we to really help our kids understand things like stress and anxiety, all that, we have to understand this vault. Okay, so that's kind of number one. Question number 2. What is this sentence? A thought, a feeling, or both? So I asked our audience, what is this sentence? A thought, a feeling, or both?
Okay.
I feel as though you are a mean parent.
Okay, so it's not a feeling. It's not really a feeling. It's more, or maybe it's both. Or maybe it's a thought. I don't know, okay? What's the answer?
Okay, so our audience,
don't
70%
know.
of our audience thought it was both. 19% of our audience thought it was a feeling. Only 11% of our audience thought it was a thought. Correct answer is it's a thought.
It's a thought.
Give it up. Yes, give it up for a thought. It's a thought.
So you think, you're really thinking that that person is a mean parent. It's not a feeling you have.
It's not a feeling. And
Okay.
here's why this is actually so important. Because a lot of us confuse cognitive or thinking with our feelings.
Right.
So we have our emotional vault and we have our cognitive, our ability to think.
Yeah.
It's actually really bad English, and a lot of us talk like this.
Yes.
Okay, so it really should be, I think that you are a bad parent, and therefore I feel in the
I
blank.
feel awful.
I feel
You make
awful.
me
I feel
feel-
frustrated.
Yes.
I feel, and here's why this is actually so important. Because feelings. Well, actually, I should back up. So
Okay.
the thing about these two vaults is that you have to understand the difference, especially when you're dealing with conflict. It's very critical when I'm dealing with couples to really understand those actually two parts. So let me explain the last one, and then I'll unpack it a little bit more. Last question: true or false? Feelings are always rational.
I would say false.
False. So you join the audience. 88% of our audience thinks it's false. Correct answer: it's true.
Is it?
It's true. Give it up for true. Yes.
It's true.
Okay, so literally
Feelings
only
are always
10%.
rational.
Only 10% of us are really understanding with what it is. So here, feelings are always rational.
Okay.
Feelings are always rational. It's the thought that's often not rational.
Oh. So your feeling is real.
Your feeling is real.
The thought might be based on something that is not really
correct,
real.
Which is why you should never tell a child, you shouldn't feel stressed. You shouldn't feel insecure. You shouldn't feel worried. You shouldn't feel anxious.
Because they do.
A child can't control it.
Right.
It is how they feel.
That's what they feel.
You can challenge how they think, but you cannot challenge how they feel.
Got it.
Okay, so
that
you have
makes so much sense.
I know. This is why I'm telling you. When I
That
work
makes
with,
a lot of sense.
when I actually work with kids, and by the way, this whole topic around anxiety, in particular for young people, we are seeing at epidemic rates.
Yeah, what's going on with that?
Well, there's a lot of different theories of whether or not parents are doing too much, we're micromanaging, we're doing too much, we're not allowing kids to fail. We're actually seeing so many kids putting on medication for it. When I work with kids in our office, only about, I'd say less than 20% ever go on medication for it. And I work with physicians. I used to work in a medical center with physicians because obviously some people absolutely need it for sure.
Yeah.
But what they would say is, go work with Karyn, understand this. If that doesn't work, then you come back. There is so much work that people can do around this topic.
Really?
You have to, oh yeah, it's fascinating.
Good. That's actually empowering to know.
Oh, it's so empowering. I love doing this. I love it, but you have to teach it to parents.
Right.
For parents to really understand it. And you always, anytime you're dealing with an emotion and there's a physical part, you always want to work with your healthcare provider, right? Because there is these two parts are so interconnected. It's very linked.
Yeah.
But it's important to know for the emotional side, there's a lot of things that people actually can do.
We're going to have to go through the tips later on in the show. But to me, it's really nice to hear that we don't have to all pack our kids up into the minivan and go move to the country.
Yes.
Because you feel like maybe we just need to be on a horse farm and it needs to be calm. And you need to feel like play with a tire and a stick. Like, because you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
Why
no,
do they
Tracy, I'm telling you, there is
children?
so much people can do around this topic. This is a very, that's why I love, more than anything at our center, we do education.
Yeah.
We really help people understand this. When you understand and you give tools, then there's all kinds of things you can actually do about it.
Okay, we will give you those tools later on in the show. Let's go to break. More coming up.